Check, check.
You ready?
I think I'm ready. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are we all doing? We good? No.
Welcome, Kingston. Welcome to the mansion.
Like the other two bands, this is also our first show as a band here. So yeah.
And
first.
please don't be shy. Come up to the front. It's very rare to have a Yeti sighting, let alone a double Yeti sighting.
Yetis are blurry from far away.
We are double Yeti.
We decided on the name. I think we were all going back, well, I know we were all going back and forth in like a group chat, firing off ideas back and forth.
We actually tried a bunch of different name generators and they did not really produce a lot of good results. Like, you're lucky if the name even made sense at all, so.
It is apparently a Futurama reference. I still have yet to actually see the reference, which is funny because I'm in the band.
We basically all had a bunch of ideas and we made a list, and then we went upstairs and sat on the couch and stared at the list and all wrote down our top 5, I think it was, favorite names.
It does kind of fit with our whole, I guess, our whole thing, just because of the idea of like doubleness. There's brothers in the band, and not just brothers, but 2 sets of brothers in the band, so there's like double going on right there.
We wrote down the 5 ones that we like best of this grand list of potential ones, and Double Yeti was the one that all 5 of us picked. I think it was the only one that all 5 of us picked, actually. We didn't even have to deliberate. It was like, that's weird Double Yeti.
How would I describe our music is the hardest question ever. But I would say it's kind of progressive rock with a bit of an identity crisis. Yeah, that's it.
Isn't that all progressive rock?
Yeah. It's kind of a bullshit answer.
I would say it's prog rock or progressive rock. Mostly more of a rock band, I think, with like progressive sensibilities, a little bit of heavy metal kind of like dashed on top of that too.
I like to think of it as a fusion between different genres, so you'll hear elements from rock and metal and jazz and funk all working together in the same piece of music.
Double Yeti's music is odd. It's difficult to describe. It's definitely like in the rock category. But it's got a lot of different things sprinkled in there. There's metal, there's jazz, there's even some swing.
Double Yeti's music is really weird. It's heavy, but not too heavy, and it's difficult to play at times. But not like a complete wank show. It's more about like the intricacy of like the chords and the harmonic structure than like just playing as many notes as fast as you can.
So So the band's songwriting process, it initially started with us just sitting down and jamming, figuring out what kinds of stuff we like to play.
Usually it's been Sean or Jimmy or Doug who have been the ones that have kind of brought the main ideas, and then we flesh it out as a band, we jam it out, kind of see what works.
It starts out sort of just building, I think, like it's just bass at first. Yeah, I think it was like that, or what else? Well, whatever. Pretty much. It started the groove with the bass.
As we went forward, Sean started, showing us more of the stuff he'd been writing, and we started to work on that a little bit more.
For the most part has been Sean sending us a song he's kind of created himself with all the instruments pre-made. And then we all just kind of come in, try to learn our parts, and kind of mess around with it a bit until it forms a song.
So he would usually, tab something out on Guitar Pro, and then he'd show that to us, and then we kind of tweak it in our own little ways until we had like an actual song that we'd had all sort of worked on together.
And then I'll transcribe all the ideas into a MIDI editing software so I can hear like a mock-up of what the whole band is going to sound like and play with all the pieces. And then I bring it to practice and we work it all out from there.
Like there's one song that we sort of did that in reverse. It was a song that we jammed one of my ideas, and then it sort of became a song, but then Sean still put it into Guitar Pro and then did it that way. But generally speaking, Sean writes most of the music, and then all the nuance and the specific parts that sort of, I don't know, everybody makes it their own. But the general idea of each track is sort of Sean's master plan.
It's just a huge leap in fidelity to the original ideas, because I usually compose in those MIDI editing softwares. So, I mean, it gives you a good idea, but it's just nowhere close to human performance, right?
Most of the lyrics as well, with me kind of helping a little bit, I think, on one song.
So easy to make a promise, not meant to be dishonest.
As far as vocals and lyrics go, that's sort of an area that none of us have really explored a lot before. So that was pretty difficult to get started initially. But for that process, it's usually I'll sit down with one of the songs that we've been working on and start working out melodies and lyrics that go along with it until I've fleshed out something that sounds okay, and then I test it with the guys, and then we go from there. And usually we end up throwing some backup vocals on there too.
It's really interesting to hear vocals and lyrics over my music, because I usually conceive of it as instrumental. Without Zach and Jimmy, there just wouldn't be any vocals. They're the main creative force when it comes to vocals and lyrics. And when it comes down to it, that's a lot of what makes people engage with music, or at least the average person, because it's so expressive and just so human.
So that's Doug O'Hanley on the piano and keyboards. That's Jim O'Hanley on vocals and bass.
Over here we've got Zach Aylesworth on the guitar and Jesse Aylesworth on the drums. And then over here we have Sean Venner.
He's the outcast. He doesn't have a brother in the band. Feel pity for him.
Being in a band with your brother is easier than being in a band with not your brother. Main reason being that you've already got all of your quarrels out and all of your anger out at each other earlier on in your life, at least in the case with all my brothers.
We get along really well because we've kind of gotten past our, petty sibling rivalries from when we were younger, so it works really well.
I don't know, everyone in the band is just sort of chilled out because they're related to each other.
I mean, I've listened to him play and practice for years, even before I started playing music. So not only, I guess, is it that we are on the same page, but in a lot of ways we've influenced each other just by having been around each other while we rehearse.
There's kind of like a synchronicity with brothers when they play together. Like we've been playing together on and off over the years just as a family and stuff. So there's just kind of always like on the same page with each other, which makes things easy.
There's just a chemistry that happens when you jam with your siblings that you just like, I don't know, you can read each other, you can kind of know like, this is what he's gonna do coming up next, feed off that energy. A bit more than just like your buddy or your friend and whatnot.
Thank you very much. Good night. We're Double Yeti.
Thank you, Kingston! Good night!
We played all of our songs. we can play another one again, but we have no more. Right one? Oh shit. That's a challenge. We're not Ben Folds. We can't do this. No, we actually did play all of our songs. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful.